don't care.
I'm going to ask you this, Kim. I believe we have O.J. Simpson's attorney on the line. Would you be willing to talk to him right now?
Not if he's going to sling insults at me like he normally does.
If he,
I'm not interested in that.
Okay. I'll tell you what, Kim. I'll make a deal with you. If he slings any insults, we will hang up on him. Both ways. We're not going to do that with anyone. Would you be willing to take this call? We didn't know he was going to call in. Would you be willing to speak with him if he is civil to you and you are civil to him?
I don't have much to say to him. You can let him spew his hateful feelings towards me, but I probably won't have much to say.
All right, fair enough. We'll give him an opportunity. Malcolm, is that you on the line? Malcolm?
Yeah, that's me. How you doing? This is Brian?
Yes, sir. Malcolm, so you're on with Kim Goldman, and she was nice enough to say that she would speak with you as long as you both could be civil to one another. Is that fair?
Oh, yeah. I've never been uncivilized to Kim Goldman.
Okay. Well, Malcolm, Kim, I'm going to leave the floor to you guys. We're joined by Malcolm, O.J. Simpson's attorney, and, of course, Kim Goldman. Malcolm, go ahead.
Well, you're the radio guy. I want you to continue to control the show. I mean, you wanted me to call in. I'm calling in, and you got questions to ask?
Okay. Fair enough. Well, Malcolm, you have said some negative things about the Goldman family, right? You have. This is a very emotional situation. I'm sure you would agree for the Goldmans as well. Do you understand that? And is there anything in a civil way you'd like to say to Kim? Maybe an apology? I don't know.
Not in this lifetime. Listen, the reason I'm on the air is simply that she has been pestering me and pestering a lot of people to come on the show. And this is her opportunity to ask me the questions. She wants to ask the questions. She can do it on your show.
That's fair. Malcolm, that's fair. Kim, I know you said you don't have a lot to talk to him about, but Kim, you don't have to ask him anything, but this is the opportunity. You could ask him anything you want, Kim. Is there anything that you'd like to ask Malcolm? I think that's fair.
No, thank you.
Okay,
well,
fair enough.
She's been hounding me, and now she has no questions to ask me.
I have not been hounding you, so let's just be clear about that. But this is not the forum. I don't appreciate being ambushed, so this is not how I'm going to handle it. I'm a little bit more respectful than that.
Well, no, we don't want. I agree. We don't want to ambush anybody. And by the way, for the record, I did not know that Malcolm was going to call in. That's why I respectfully asked if.
And she said earlier on in the show that this about this thing with the Simpson and the $1 million, which she knows is a joke. But then she says, well, if you got Simpson in an interview.
Well, let me ask you a question, Malcolm. Well, Malcolm,
so
Malcolm, let me ask you a question then. And Kim is still on the line, and I do want this to be respectful. Why won't OJ do it? Why wouldn't he just meet her face to face and go on her podcast?
Mr. Simpson doesn't know these people other than through legal proceedings. Mr. Simpson has always maintained his innocence. And the most important thing is Mr. Simpson is in Vegas living his best life now. He's been through hurricanes, as he said on Twitter, and he's living his best life now. And part of living his best life is not to be dealing with these distractions. Okay.
Well, he doesn't have to go on. He doesn't have to go on anybody's show. I'm certainly not making that case. He has the right to say no. I'm just asking the question. Is there a reason?
Well, if he was going to go on with somebody and do something, if I was let's say I was advising him, and he says I really want to go on and speak to someone right now.
Right.
It would be with someone who's a talent in the world of journalism and someone who actually has tremendous experience in interviewing people.
I understand.
So that's what it would do. It would be with a real professional.
Okay, hey, look, you guys have the right to that. And by the way, in no way, shape, or form disrespect to you, Kim. I certainly didn't want this to be an ambush or anything along those lines. But Malcolm, I mean, I guess there's a lot of questions I would want to ask you in regards to O.J. Simpson. What did he mean when he said he wanted to get even? Did he talk to you about that on Twitter?
Oh, that's the most innocuous statement ever made. I don't know why the media would make such a big deal about it. He's got even. It's getting even means exactly what it says. Is that he now has a medium, which is Twitter, where he can even up the playing field for all of these tremendous, slanderous, horrible things that are said about him. A lot of them just aren't true. Mm-hmm. And so he can get even by having Twitter. And you saw an example of it, I think, within his first couple of tweets when he talked about he deflected or knocked out this Kim Kardashian, which one of the Kardashians?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
the Khloe Daddy Kardashian thing.
Yes.
And then there's this guy who's been running around for a million years saying he was his manager. That isn't.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing as a lawyer. For years, I've gone around and I've tried to beat those fires down.
Mm-hmm.
And this manager guy and dealing with these stories of the Kardashians and all this other nonsense. And you beat them down, and then they go away for a while, and then they come back. And then you beat them down again, and they come back. Mr. Simpson went on and in 1 2-minute tweet basically eliminated any of that stuff. So everyone now knows from the horse's mouth that he's never had a manager, certainly hadn't had one in 40 years or something like that. This guy was claiming was false. Mm-hmm. And everyone now knows from the horse's mouth that he's never had anything to do with this Kardashian Jenner or whatever.
Okay. Personally, I'll be honest with you. Personally, I don't care about that. I could care less.
Well, Malcolm, I would give you the answer, Malcolm, as to why people make a quote unquote big deal about it. Is because O.J. Simpson was part of one of the most highly publicized trials in American history, and then you make a statement like that in your first exposure to social media in 2019. People are going to react to it. That's why it was made a big deal.
Well, it's now, of course, you understand if you make statements like that, people can have a reaction to it. But then I think through subsequent tweets and through his subsequent history of his Twitter, as you could see, everything he said is just very positive. He talks a lot about football, which, the most ironic thing is, though, I'm considered one of Mr. Simpson's staunchest defenders. But on a personal note, I can't stand NFL football anymore. I have no interest and no desire for NFL football.
I understand. I get that.
I don't golf either, so I don't.
I hear you.
So well, biggest love that I have no interest in whatsoever.
Let me go back to Kim real quickly, Malcolm. Hang on here for a second. Kim, are you still there?
Sure.
Okay, I appreciate it. I guess what I want to ask you is when he says he wants to get even. I know we touched on this a little bit. What goes through your mind?
Honestly, he's full of shit, and I know I'm not supposed to say that, but nobody cares about the Kardashian and the Jenner stuff. Nobody cares about his Democratic convention debates. The response that he's getting from people is that he's a double murdering SOB. So I let him do what he wants. I don't think that the response he's getting is all that positive. So I don't really care. Let him have his forum. I think it's interesting that the first thing he says is something like that rather than claim his innocence like his attorney claims that he always does, which I've never heard him say. So, you know what? I don't care. Honestly, I don't care.
Malcolm, do you have any response to that?
Well, yeah, it's a Twitter page is for people to do what they want to with it. I mean, he's already stated and he really didn't give...
And his If I Did It book, The Confession, that book? Uh-huh.
He didn't really...
Yeah, it's chapter 6.
Let me speak a second. I thought that, you didn't want to be ambushed, and I just wanted to answer
Fair enough. Kim, I will go right back to you. Malcolm, go ahead.
What he basically wants to do is use that forum to... And I got distracted. I don't even know what the question was now because it's interrupted. But he basically wants to use the forum for his positive messages and his things. He's not going to go, and he already said in this interview, it's kind of an informal interview he gave with the Associated Press, he says he's living in the no-negative zone. He's not going to go back and rehash the past. He's living his best life now. That's what he's going to do. That's it. And he's going to keep on doing it. And nobody's going to get in the way of that. And, as long as I'm his lawyer, I'm going to make sure that's the case.
But, Malcolm, we
Simpson, what he's going to be doing is he's going to be out there just basically spreading tremendous positivity into the air and trying to enjoy time with his family, his friends, and his love.
But, Malcolm, we also happen to live in the real world. We also understand, right, that he is, every amount of his identity not necessarily is tied up in football. It's not tied up in him as an actor. It's not tied up in his personality as a celebrity. It's tied up into what happened between 1994 and 1995 and before that. And so, you're basically saying that he's not going to address any of this in any way when it comes to his social media, or not.
For him to. If I need to address it, I may address it, but there's just there's no reason for it. People can choose the course of their life and choose the decisions and how they want to do what they want to do with their lives. They can make choices. I've learned that. A lot of people can learn that.
Kim,
I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say. I got to let you in on something. I was a victim of a crime. I forget it was 2014 or whatever it was. I was a victim of a crime, and Metro did a really good job finding the idiot who did what they did. And, he went through the court system, all this other stuff. And I think the judge gave him almost nothing, and the guy immediately absconded and has a warrant out for him since then. And you know what? I was all upset about it for a while, and, this and that, and I was going to do this, and I had all these emotions. And at some point I said, you know what, Malcolm? You got to let this thing go. You're going to let something consume your life. You're going to let it do this and that.
Okay, but hold on a second.
You're not going to be able to achieve
Malcolm, hold
life.
on. Hang on one second here. I got to pull back a little bit there. Okay, there's the woman we have with us on the line right now, Kim Goldman. Her brother was brutally murdered, basically decapitated. I understand it happened in 1994.
Well, there was a killing, there was a homicide, but a murder was never established.
Well, there were 2 victims, and by extension, there were more than 2 victims because there was
hold on,
2 families that were affected.
Malcolm, it was a double murder.
Yes.
Can we at least agree on that?
Homicide.
Okay, fine. Homicide, murder. Okay, they were both decapitated, stabbed to death, murdered. Can we at least agree on that?
Well, if you want to talk about it, that's your business to talk about it. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
No,
he's just asking a question.
I'm just asking you a very simple. Okay.
There's coroner certificates of death that on June 12th, 1994.
Listen, I'm not bringing O.J. Simpson. I'm not even bringing O.J. Simpson into this right now. I'm just saying there was a double murder. Now, if you want to call it a homicide, that's all. And the reason why I bring that up, Malcolm, and we still have Kim Goldman on the line, okay, that pain never goes away. Okay, I know someone who was brutally murdered in my family, okay? That pain never goes away, ever. And to say that it does go away because it happened in 94, I'm going to have to pull back in and disagree with respect.
I didn't say it went away.
Okay,
You're getting me all mixed up.
Okay,
Listen,
that's what it sounded like.
You guys are going into a little bit of a funnel. I want to stay focused here. If there's anything that my message has always been, I thought it's really bad when people go like that. That's really sad. 2 wonderful people, wonderful families who loved them. But at the end of the day, currently, as of 2019, my focus at this point is on a situation where I see people who are monetizing a situation, and they're doing it at my client's expense. And that's something that I'm going to continue to address.
Okay, let's let Kim respond to that.
It's done.
Let's let Kim respond to that. Go ahead, Kim.
Listen. His client may have been acquitted in 94, but was held liable of a double murder in 1997. So I don't care what he thinks. There is a $70-80 million judgment against his client that he's been ordered to pay that he has not. So you can argue all day long about the merits of the cases, whatever you want. We have a judgment against our family that we are entitled to pursue. The way that I have chosen to live my life for the last 25 years is no business of Malcolm's. He has accused me of profiting off of this crime. He's accused me of monetizing it. I run a nonprofit. I do volunteer work. I sit on the board of multiple organizations for victims and survivors. I live a very humble life, and I'm also choosing to take control of a story that is mine to tell. If Malcolm likes to continue to go on Twitter, where is the only place that he likes to hide behind, and call me all sorts of names and to tell me that I'm greedy and I'm gross and I'm disgusting and I'm pathetic and all the other things that he likes to say as an attorney, I find issue with that because he's an officer of the law, an officer of the court, and he should be asking his client to uphold the judgment, which he is encouraging him not to do. So I'm going to continue to live my life and be able to look myself. Excuse me. I'm going to continue to live my life in a very honest and a life that's with integrity. And I don't care what he seems to think of me and the way that I'm living my life with my father. Some of the things that he has said is just disgusting and it's racist. And I think that the Bar Association should know about it because what he's doing is despicable. That is the end of my conversation about this.
Okay. Malcolm, do you have any response? I'll give Malcolm a chance to respond. Go ahead, Malcolm.
The response to that is I'm just an attorney representing the best interests of my client. There was about a 1.5-year period up until the middle of last month where there was nothing that happened between me or the Goldmans or anybody. They went away. They did their publicity tour when Simpson got out in 2017, and then there was a lot of back and forth going on then, and then nothing happened for a 1.5 years. And guess when I started responding again? Guess when the stuff that she's complaining about? Guess when that started again? It started when they started.
You know what? I'm going to interrupt you. Let's just set the record straight. If anybody would like to go to your Twitter feed and watch how you have verbally assaulted me on Twitter, and I have not responded ever, maybe one time to call you out to tell you to knock it off and to take me off of your feed because I didn't need to be constantly stalked and harassed and trolled, go check that out. I have kept my side of the street clean. I'm not engaging in this crap with you. So be done.
Stop talking about
you have come after me over and over and over and over and over again, relentlessly. Knock it off. Roll up there and back
I'll knock it off when you knock it off. How about that as a deal?
I'm done. I appreciate the time. Goodbye.
Okay, Kim, I appreciate you coming on.
She goes on about my.
Let's keep Malcolm on.